get ready for what Baba has to tell us through today's Murli. It's a short Murli. Murli dated 3rd February 1972. And through this Murli, Baba is talking about your state, which will make your stage. The world of attainments, identifying your own self in soul consciousness. It is said of the Father that those who know him as he is and what he is can attain all attainments. In the same way, do you know yourself as you are and what you are? Do you know and accept yourself in this way? And conduct yourself accordingly throughout the whole day? Just as it is necessary to know the Father in all his forms and in all relationships, it is also necessary to know the Self in the same way through the Father. To know means to accept. What will your stage become if you continue to move along accepting yourself as you are? You will become bodiless whilst in the body, avyakt whilst in the vyakt form, an angel whilst walking and moving around, and karmatit whilst performing karma. The understanding which I got out of what Baba wants to convey here is to be agile and attentive to who you are as a soul. Like Baba says, just as it is necessary to know the Father in all his forms and all his relationships, it is also necessary to know the self, your own self, in the same way. All these years, we may have known ourselves by our surroundings, by the environment, by the way, the social labels that we may have got. But now, to know yourself in the same way through the Father. And to know that means to accept. And as you move along, accepting yourself as you are, you will become bodiless. Whilst in the body, you'll be doing things free from attachments. Avyakt while in a vyakt form. So there is no you. An angel whilst walking and moving around, where there'll be an understanding, humility, compassion, love that you'll have, acceptance that you'll have with everyone around. And karmatit while performing karma. So as you're doing that, you're not building up any new negative account in your karmic cycle. When you very clearly know and accept yourselves, then such souls can never fluctuate in following the disciplines. The connection that Baba has shown here as we Brahmins being disciples and following discipline. So the connection between the disciple and discipline. To know the disciplines means to follow the disciplines. The disciplines automatically remain with those who accept and follow all the disciplines. They do not have to think whether something is a discipline or not. For those who stabilize themselves in the stage of self, whatever actions they perform, whatever words they speak, and whatever thoughts they think become a discipline. Just take a moment and reflect. Our mind runs very fast into memories or creating thoughts. Just create a thought of your outlook, of your approach, of your behavior in your day to day life as you interact with others and you're completing your tasks, fulfilling your responsibilities. How does it feel when you are someone who's stabilized in the stage of the self? Every action that you perform, and every word that you speak, and everything that you think, one action follows the other, one word follows the other, one thought follows the other, and that chain becomes a discipline. You saw that whatever the Sakar form performed while remaining in self awareness, talking about Brahma Baba, they became the disciples for the Brahmin family. Sorry, they became the disciplines for the Brahmin family. So, whatever Brahma Baba performed while remaining in self awareness, that became the path for us to follow. And they became the disciplines for the Brahmin family. How were those disciplines created? Whatever happened through Brahma Baba became the disciplines for the Brahmin family. By staying in the awareness of the self, all actions become a discipline. And recognition of the time constantly remains very clear in front of them. Recognition of this time, this limited time that we have to perform those actions. This time constantly remains very clear. There is no wastage of time. There is no space of going into any parmat or manmat. It's only Shrimat. And that following of Shrimat is discipline. By staying in the awareness of the self, all actions become a discipline. And recognition of the time constantly remains very clear in front of them. Baba gives an example that senior officers know the whole plan and they keep it in front of them while conducting their activities. In the same way, pilots and ship's captains have their own plans through which they can know the path clearly. Similarly, those who know themselves automatically follow the disciplines and recognize the time very clearly. The example that Baba gave here of pilots and ship's captains, the importance of everything going in order, one instruction after the other, one action after the other, one command after the other, everything going one after the other in complete discipline, and also the importance of time, how to maneuver, how to move your vessel ahead, how you move your aircraft ahead, everything with precision, with clarity, so that the flight lands and the ship is seen through and reaches the port safely. Even in turbulent times or choppy waters, what actually helps is maintaining that sthiti, the stage, and taking care of that state. The same way, throughout the day, they are aware of what they are as they are, continuously looking at how you are as you cruise along. What is your state? Are you getting into your body consciousness? Or are you doing your duties in complete discipline? It is remembered, whatever actions I perform, others who see me will do the same. The inspiration that one would get out of someone's virtues, the impression it creates on someone. So, whatever actions are performed by those who know themselves, those actions will become disciplines. Everyone who sees them will follow them. You should have such a stage constantly. In the first stage, you have to make effort. Any new habit that you start imbibing or start taking into practice, first, it will take you out of your comfort zone. So it will ask for efforts. In the first stage, you have to make effort. You have to think at every step whether something is right or wrong because it's new. But when you stay constantly in the awareness of the self, then it becomes natural. And there is no need. Think about it. As you could never perform any action without the disciplines. In the Sakar form, because of being in the intoxication of the self, he could say with authority, Brahma Baba could say with authority that even if he performed a wrong action, that would be also be put right. He had that authority. How did he have such authority? He had that kind of authority with the intoxication of the self by staying in the awareness of the form of the self. You have the intoxication that none of your actions can be wrong. Everyone should have such intoxication, number wise. Can those who follow the Father not create the stage? Then Baba asks, you will follow this one, will you not? He is the first soul in the Sakar form. Whatever was demonstrated by the first soul as an instrument, the second and the third souls can follow him number wise and in all aspects. And that's how we see how the yajna is created and has reached the stage that it has reached today. The question of the incorporeal form is a different matter. Whatever Baba demonstrated as an instrument in the corporeal form can be followed by everyone, number wise, according to effort. This is known as having full faith in the intellect for the self. Just as your intellect has 100% faith in the Father, together with that faith in the Father, you also need to have that much faith in the self. How much intoxication do you have for the stage of the self? Having the knowledge of it, having an inspiration of it, and being intoxicated by that is different. Just as Baba became an instrument in the Sakar form and demonstrated every action as a discipline, so you children have to follow the Father in the same way in a practical form. Do you have such a stage? If the train is running accurately along the track, there is faith that there will not be accident. And you continue to drive it free of care. In the same way, if you have the intoxication of the awareness of the self, then you cannot perform actions or have thoughts that are not within the disciplines. In the same way, if you have the intoxication of the awareness of the self, then you cannot perform actions or have thoughts that are not within the disciplines. The discipline of the train on the tracks is such a beautiful example. All the passengers were traveling, even with that faith, can go to sleep and do things without worrying whether the train will reach its destination. Such a beautiful example Baba has given. So if you have the intoxication of the awareness of the self, then you cannot perform actions or have thoughts that are not within the disciplines. Such a perfect stage is coming close now. By stabilizing yourself in the stage of self-respect, there cannot be any arrogance. The more you maintain your stage of self-respect, the more humility there will be. This is why such souls will not have any arrogance. Victory is guaranteed when you have faith. निश्चय ने निश्चिंत किया, निश्चय विजय हमारी. Victory is guaranteed when you have faith. Victory will be merged in your every action. That is, if your every action is like a discipline, then victory is guaranteed. So check yourself to see how close you are to the stage. When you come close, a number of others can also come close. Day by day, you must be experiencing such transformation. To have something verified and to give regard is one thing. But to have faith in the self and to ask others is a different matter. Whatever actions such souls perform, they will have faith. The father also gives regard to the children and advises them. Check to see how close you have come to such a stage. This Murli is short, but it's so power packed. There's so much to think about and to be worked upon, to introspect and reflect and act. Then you will not have the thought, I don't know whether this is right or wrong. Everything that you do will be right and will be going in the right direction if it's happening with discipline. The thought will finish because you are master knowledgeful. You must never lack intoxication of the self. According to the disciplines, whilst interacting with others, you should give regard to them. That humility, that warmth, that acceptance, that's what make a difference. According to the disciplines, whilst interacting with others, you should give regard to them. You saw such a stage in the sample. You gave regard to the Father, and you reached where you reached today. To follow the things you have seen in the Sakar form is easy, is it not? So you're coming close to the stage of being equal, are you not? So now you have to make elevated and deep effort, not ordinary effort. Elevated and deep effort, that awareness, that agility, that precision, that clarity, not ordinary effort. Ordinary effort is that of childhood, but we are one trustees. We have already entitled to be counted upon to contribute to self and the world. So ordinary effort is that of childhood, but now for special souls, it has to be a special effort. With the last line, Baba sums it up, leaving us to think about actually fine-tuning ourselves and taking off all that would come in the way of discipline. All where we would be operating from our default sanskars or from Maya, and elevating yourself to divinity. Om Shanti. Let's take a couple of moments to reflect on this deep, intense Murli, the points in this Murli, and come back with our learnings, takeaways, and perspectives. Yes, whoever wants to share can unmute and share.
Om Shanti, brother. I wanted to share today the beautiful example which I feel very close to my own life. being the captain of the plane.
Please, Ben, I'm not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Harpreet.
Okay,
Is his voice audible?
Yeah, your voice is also audible, Manishbhai, and Harpreet's voice is also audible.
Okay, I can speak a little louder. Is this better?
Sister, your voice is loud and clear.
Okay, all right. So I said I love the example of today's Murli of being the captain of the ship or the plane, because I could immediately see the journey from the takeoff roll, in fact, from the pushback to the taxi and to the takeoff roll. And you're seeing clearly what weather to expect, what turbulence is likely, and you still navigate your way so smoothly through it. That's because you see the big picture. And you see the big picture of God's beautiful creation. Baba is guiding you through that journey. And I think it's a great way to connect it to your life pattern as such, where your destination is finally losing the physical body and merging with the light. And I think it's a beautiful correlation. Om Shanti.
Yes, Harpreet, Ben, you've got practical example of this world, and that world, both the worlds. You can completely relate to it, I'm sure. Yes, who else?
Om Shanti, brother. Baba today said about the self-intoxication. So self-intoxication, if we are stable in that, then all our actions will automatically be performed with that discipline. So that I like very much, brother. In 2 days back, Murli also, Varadan, Baba said the same example that the railway track, if the vehicle is in, then it is automatically without any accident, it will be going. So today also Baba is saying about the same thing. But I like that point very much, brother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, brother.
Please go ahead.
Om Shanti.
Yes, go ahead, Gurjani.
Oh, I think that's the first journey Baba wants to set it right in this spiritual journey. All other faith he has given second, third, and fourth. But if you see the first thing, the underlying, the first thing he says was faith in the self. But today, Baba was just, he added one statement, if you see in the first paragraph, to know means to accept. So I was just thinking, yes, I have knowledge, but if suppose I accept the knowledge without any, is it so, is it correct, will it be not like that, then it's a straight line. But what happens between that knowledge which I get about myself and the actual acceptance? Acceptance is like a power. Acceptance is something which, it just says, yes, that's what it is. So I was just thinking what happens in our practice between knowledge and acceptance. Because Baba says this self knowledge, it's not just knowledge. He adds two more things to it. He's saying first awareness and then the intoxication. So I used to think, what if I have a wrong awareness of myself? Like it will lead to self-deception. But how beautifully he puts it and he says, no, Once you have the right awareness of yourself, you are in discipline. You are like a train on the right track. And all the fuels of your intoxication is perfect. Like a spiritual scientist, I become and I know and I accept myself. I think more churning will really make it little more crystal clear. Om Shanti.
Okay, what comes in the way between knowledge and application is when you don't surrender to do what you have learned. And like discipline, okay, if I say a disciple is someone who would obey, who would follow the rules, who would accept the conduct that is expected. So being a disciple is actually is someone who will surrender and who will take actions as required to be taken from him or her. And following those actions with faith and with surrendering is discipline. So having that learning converted into actions minus body consciousness is equal to discipline. Thank you, Gurjavan.
Om Shanti. Uh, these lines in the first paragraph again, just as it is necessary to know the Father in all his forms and in all relationships, it is also necessary to know the self in the same way through the Father. So, as Father, the Supreme Father, looks at us, that to know the self in the same way, the as I am, as I am and what I am. That is very important, and that is the key. If we accept that as in that pure form, what Baba looks at us, then we become bodiless whilst in the body, a Vyakt whilst in the Vyakt form, and an angel whilst walking and moving around, and karmatit while performing karma on this in this world itself. That is the stage Baba is talking about, which and the acceptance is that, like the beautiful example of a train or a ship or a aeroplane, where we accept the integrity of the pilot. We accept that the captain is taking the ship in a safe manner and correct destination, come what may. Any kind of storm comes or anything comes, will sail through. So that acceptance is here. The captain of the ship, the soul is the captain, and then the soul is also governed by the Shiva, God Shiva, the supreme captain, the supreme commander. So that acceptance in self is also important, equally important as the acceptance of the supreme commander. Om Shanti.
And this line that is there is the highlight of the whole Murli, that you know the self in the same way, not by anyone else or not through anything else, but through the Father. And to know that means to accept. Now, this line itself is so intoxicating, isn't it,
Yes,
Ombai? Yeah,
yes, Divesh Bhaiji, yes, yes. Through the cell, through the Father, that is very important, because
yeah,
sometimes, because of our role, we may look at differently. We get influenced from the role or the body, and various manifestations. But how Father is looking at the soul, that is the key. That is the key.
yeah. When if we know ourselves through others, now others may praise us, and we'll know ourselves through that, the way they relate to us. Or
Yes,
someone might ridicule us, and then we know ourselves from that.
yes, yes, and that will fluctuate,
That
because
will fluctuate.
It will fluctuate, but the Supreme Father will never fluctuate. He'll be always stable. He'll have a constantly the most elevated form. He's looking at us.
Every Murli that Baba would, uh, the Sakar Murli would start with relating to us as Meethe Bache. He relates to us as from there, no matter what your sanskars are. But that is from where he would relate to each one of us, and he's accepted us like that. There is no chance or no other way to be but to be that.
And then ends with Meethe Meethe Bache.
Meethe,
Remember?
meethe.
So that is the, that's the ultimate, the, you can say ecstasy or the ultimate point where you are like, Baba is sweating joy while speaking to you.
Yeah,
And then he ends up with that Meethe Meethe, your ultimate.
yeah. Whatever actions you perform, whatever words you speak, and whatever thoughts you think, that makes you a disciple. And in the end, like you said, Baba says, Baba himself comes and tells us, Yad Pyar or Namaste. The humility and the love that he displays. That I'm not going to come wait for you to come. I'm going to come and tell you that I remember you. I'm giving you remembrance. I'm giving you sustenance. And I'm the one who's going to be taking care of you.
So Vimesh bhai, can I, that one word which you said, through the Father, I think I like that. That's like an underlying, like the constitution for me. And I was just thinking, what do you mean by through the Father? As if I can get his touchings. As you, I was just about to say, you said the Murli. I think sometimes when any Murli or any one line or something, if I have in the mind, when I go deep down to the Murli, because Srimad and all, it's sometimes it's like a abstract constitution, which it's very difficult one to say is the Srimad. Some people will try to flexify to do the Srimad, but I think the Murli, the constitution, if I go, then I cannot have self-deception. Like, for example, Baba says, Om Shanti. So what is that Om Shanti? And awareness to say that I'm peace. So if I accept I am peace, then what will I do in my actions? I will choose patience. Because I accepted the fact of myself that I am peace, and then I get an inspired stillness within me. I think that through the Father, the fifth line, what Baba says, is the whole thing of the Murli, which I should take it to every paragraph, every paragraph.
So when say Baba says Om, we greet each other Om Shanti. That means I'm a peaceful soul. And bring forth that discipline in who you are every moment, that stage that you would bring forth for yourself. And as you wish others Om Shanti, you're also relating to that person from that space, from that stage. That is discipline. That first you are an embodiment of what you are out to impart. It's not that you just physically say, oh, in your mind say Om Shanti, and then there is arrogance or there is any kind of an upset or any kind of uh, a maligned emotion, if not for a better word, or tainted emotion that would be there, then that is not discipline. But the moment you say that, the first thing is you be an example of that, and that would be discipline. So knowing yourself through the Father, through no one else, because He's the ultimate truth. Whatever He relates to you, you may not relate to your own self, but you're not relating to yourself because of the gap that is there. But once you start, when you surrender, you accept, that what he says about you is who you are. And then you put faith in yourself. How much we say about our own selves, Gijaben, that, oh, I'm a short-tempered person. Oh, I am very impatient. No, these are all acquired sanskars which have come over a period of time. But who you actually are a peaceful soul. So having faith in the Father as He's saying that for you, and then you having faith in what is created for you, and then having faith in your own self, that would complete a circle. If that can encapsulate uh, what you looking out for.
Thank you,
Yes.
Vinesh Bhai. I want to extract more from you. There's a doubt given about my father over here in one of the paragraph. Baba says about the Sakar form. You just read one sentence. The question of the incorporeal form is a different matter. That was a sentence running out of context for me. He was saying, follow Brahma, follow that. And what was that line which is there in the Murli? The question of the incorporeal form is a different matter. I just couldn't place that. Could you please give in your thought?
Okay, would anyone like to answer this? An attempt to share your perspective? Ombai, Vijit Bhai, anyone? All right, so whatever my understanding is that the incorporeal father, when like we are all used to tangibility, looking at things in the tangible form. But here we had Brahma Baba as an example. Okay, he was there in the corporeal form, he was there in the Sakar form. And then whatever he has said has become what the yajna is now. Okay, those are the fundamental foundations of the values of this yajna, I would say. So, relating to from there, that following the path, he was the first disciple of whatever learnings the incorporeal father imparted through him to the world. So that we keep, that is there in its own place of the relation between Bap and Dada. And here, looking at the discipline, the focus over here is on discipline. And the focus over here is on disciple. So given that we are used to, most of us are used to looking at most of the things tangibly, something in which would be there in uh, reality. How to look at him as an inspiration. That is Brahma Baba as an inspiration. And to follow those footsteps in the shortest time that is available. And to come closer to divinity in that space. That is what I can understand or summarize with.
Om Shanti. I would just share one more reflection that Baba is emphasizing on this knowledge that who am I, and as I am. Like, and throughout the day, this awareness is very important. This could be taken as a homework that throughout the day, am I aware of what I am as I am? This is very important, as I am. And if I can maintain this awareness, then through with this, I can know the path clearly. Is given an example of a pilot and a ship captain. Basically, because of this fact that the self awareness throughout the day will make my path very clear, the clarity of the path. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Baba also touched upon this whatever action that we perform, right? So we'll have to be aware that others who see me will do the same, right? Because we Brahmins are the ancestors, the lawmakers of the world. So so it's having aware that I'm on a stage, right? People are watching me. So I need to do. So all I need to do is just follow Father, and then the discipline automatically followed, and action also will become elevated because having this awareness of self or stabilizing ourselves in that stage. So ultimately, awareness is the key. Becoming aware who I am, whom I belong to, like Dadi Janki used to say. Yeah, Om Shanti, thank you.
A couple of chats which have come in where, yes, Balvinder sister has also written very nicely. She's written that I'm working on maintaining my self-awareness as I'm during the day, and I'm forgetting this repeatedly. Only then I will see others as I am. So beautifully that you're present to your absent mind over here as you're writing this, and that is where you would get an opportunity to come back to be present to the discipline. So very nicely you've written that, sister. Yes, we have to make elevated and deep effort. For that, we have to surrender ourselves and follow Father. Not have to. We surrender ourselves. Why have to? Have to be a compulsion. So just surrender ourselves. But do we have that faith? And faith will make us surrender. All right. So anyone else? Yes, Girjavan, keep on contemplating. With the fuels of intoxication, keep on contemplating. There's a lot in there.
I was just thinking what Balvinder sister had said. You know, we have a statement, I am what I think I am. I am not what others think I am. Or I'm okay, you're okay. This one sentence we can say, I am what I think I am because this is what my father says I am. You know, that
Yeah,
one thing, if we just add to that statement,
yeah,
she put it so beautifully about
yeah.
I try to shape myself through others and I fail. I think that was a nice thing
That
she
was a
shared
nice
with.
one.
Nice
That
one.
I will see others as I am. So beautifully she has written this.
Very honest.
Yeah.
Om Shanti Ji, Divine Family. Thank you so much. I'm learning from all of you. Thank you, Baba. The day you taught me who I am, I'm so blessed. I do not know how to say thank you, Baba. When I see myself through all the beautiful titles you have given to me, I didn't believe my mind did not accept. Baba, I used to use this title only for you, but you have given to me. How come? It took me long time to understand, to accept. I'm working on it. I'm trying to understand Baba. Wah, Baba, wah. I love you. I love you. Whatever you have given to me, it is priceless. Baba, nobody on this planet has given to me has elevated me the way you have given to me. Baba, I see myself now through your divine eyes, through your divine intellect. I do not see myself through other people's eyes. I keep myself uplifted, elevated, as you keeping me elevated through Murli every day. And I'm working on myself. There is a big, big work needs to be done. Yesterday, I heard from all of you when Baba was saying, this study is revision. You are revising it. It made me think all of you have done this study first time. Then I was wondering, Baba, what will happen to us who just joined so late? What will happen, Baba? Because time is so close. How will we survive? How will we cope up? Thank you. Om Shanti.
Wonderful sharing, sister, and your faith and your surrendering is speaking. It is very clear and evident. All right, so let's move towards the meditation. And as we close today's session, Rakhi Ben, Nami Ben, we have some music.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Taking a couple of nice, deep, fresh breaths as you charge yourself, your body, being up, erect, and relaxed. Smile in your eyes and calmness on your face. Your aura speaking of the love that you've got, or you're getting from your Father, the Supreme Father. Like a pampered child. A child who's pampered and loved, accepted. You and me are those children who got that love from that Father. To be who He says I am is the ultimate truth. No other way to be. What He says about me, what He relates to me as, is who I am. And with this elevated level of dignity and purity, I step out in the world and relate to each soul. It is not me who will relate to them the way I relate to them. I am the instrument to spread and share that divinity, that purity, that love, and that acceptance around. Everything that I do, everything that I think, and everything that I speak is all in sync with what my Supreme Father is expecting out of me. I am free from the struggle to have discipline because I have faith, I have surrendered, I am a disciple, and whatever comes out of me is out of discipline. The only and only way to live this life at this present time is to contribute to myself and through me contribute to others. Thank you, Baba. Thank you for choosing me and making me a part of your family, of this family. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Vimesh Bhai.
All right. See you all tomorrow morning at 5. Om Shanti.